Hello guys and welcome back to some more World of Tanks. Today I am bringing you a few replays, nothing special, just something to talk over the top of. In my Challenger 2 base, I've not got any upgrades on this thing, apart from the fourth equipment slot, which again I'm going to get onto in a minute, I think. But I'm just going to cover whether modern warfare has got any better. And the short answer is not really. It's gotten slightly better in some ways, and actually slightly worse in others. And we'll go straight into it. So I obviously had that lucky win on the key cards, so I had a lot of gold to play with, and I thought, you know what, let's get a top tier tank, because if I platoon with my clan or anything, if anybody wants to play Cold War, then I've got my premium tank, and I've now got a top tier tank in it. And I've got the top tier tank, and then I realized that it's unupgraded. You've actually got to go through the whole process of upgrading everything, from like you would in a tier 9 or 8, you know, tier 10 in the Second World War one. Once you get the tier 10, that's pretty much it. You just need to maybe have one gun upgrade, but then both are viable choices usually. One's maybe a dirt gun and the other one's not. So I was not impressed by the fact that I've spent all this gold to get a top tier tank, and you've then got to grind through it, get all the engines and guns upgrades, well, the Russian tanks are in this game are clearly the superior top tier tanks, if not most of the other tiers, to be honest, because I've almost find it impossible. There we go, like the game's over straight away. Now this is a big problem with the old so that's one problem. The second problem is I had to start a new crew. So not have I got a base tank here with no upgrades, I've also got one crew skill, which is fantastic, right? And that's because they've just introduced this. I don't know when they introduced this, to be fair, because when I've only played a little bit of Cold War, but if you want to transfer over a good crew from World War II, it now costs you silver and gold. That's right. Another way of just fleecing money from us is if you want a good crew for your Cold War tanks, it now costs you gold and silver, not just silver, or even just gold. I mean, that would be bad, but I'm just saying it costs you gold and silver, which is horrendous. So I had to start a new crew, and not only that, you don't have 2D commanders, so you have to choose one of those awful 3D commanders. I hate the 3D commanders. Graphically they look pretty bad anyway. Second of all, I don't want to be forced into having one of those anyway. I don't see why we should be forced into having a 3D commander. Because I actually, at the end of the game, I want to see my tank, because I've done all the work in that tank, and I'm playing a tank game. I'm not playing a first-person shooter game. I don't want to see a person standing in front of my tank, obscuring my tank. That I'm playing a tank game, not a first-person shooter. I don't want that person standing in front of my tank, obscuring my tank. So it's obviously ranting a little bit there, but because that is quite bad. They're fleecing us out of gold to have a good crew, so you have to start your crew all over again. So that's one thing. Second of all, they still not got medals in this. So no masteries, no first class, no defender medal, no Bradley Walters. So you don't really know how well you're doing. I mean, you can obviously hazard a guess. Like I say, to know whether you've done a pretty good job, you've got to do over the amount of hit points your tank has. So you've killed an enemy, if you do 5,000 damage, I've killed another tank equal to my own and done a bit of damage to someone else. So I've pulled my weight, more than pulled my weight, if that's the case. But it's still kind of hard to know whether you don't know if you're having an absolutely staggering game, because there's no information there. There's no information. There's no rewards for doing really well. Obviously it's very exciting to get a Radley Walters. It's always nice to see a mastery, but you don't get that in Cold War. I know they say they're bringing it in, but really I don't see why they've brought this game mode into play when they still haven't got that basic thing in the actual game itself. It seems quite they're prioritizing Cold War. They're neglecting World War II a bit, and obviously that's the main game mode they'll play. So that's a bit annoying. But they're not prioritizing the right things either. In Cold War, they've I had only two lines to go down for ages and ages. They finally brought out the British ones. So there's now 3. Wow, fantastic. 3 lines to go down. So you see the same kind of tanks. And of course, you see a lot of Russians, and they're just better than your tanks. So you're pretty screwed if you're an American or British tank. They prioritized the premium tanks. Shock, guys. They prioritized the premium tanks. There's a load of premium tanks. Loads of premium tanks. But only just 3 tank lines you can grind out without having to pay gold. Again, absolutely crap. I mean, we've already had the Armadillo fiasco, which had to be nerfed because it was so overpowered. I mean, why would you go down any of the tank lines when you're up against premium tanks that are just so much better than your own tank? And then, I mean, I don't know what they're thinking, really. It's like, so we want people to play Cold War. We really want people to encourage people. We put a lot of time and effort into this game mode. So I know what we'll do. We'll release just 2 tank lines. We'll give them no rewards, no medals, nothing like that to show how well they are doing. We're going to just pump out premium after premium after premium. Some of them most of them are obviously going to be slightly broken, and they're obviously going to beat anybody who's playing the normal tank lines, but people will love this game. They will love this game. No, we won't love this game. And then we have what else do we have that's a problem in Cold War? I mean, True Vision, I'm not too bothered. I mean, as long as it just stays in Cold War, I'm not too bothered. It's okay. Not a massive issue. I think if you're a new player, it's probably best to start in Cold War, because obviously True Vision is easier to understand. It's a bit harder to understand the view range and spotting mechanics in the World War II. So so I can understand why new players would probably best for new players to start down that line. Other than that fact, I think the majority of people did not like the True Vision test, but they went ahead with it anyway. Like, a good portion of people didn't like the True Vision, and they still went ahead with it because they just seemed to ignore the player base. there is still bots, and that's because there's only 3 lines to go down, guys. We've mentioned this just a minute ago. Only 3 lines, just a load of premiums, and there's still bots in every tier. That shows you something. I mean, yes, there are people playing this game version, and that's partially because they're being forced to. Now, what do I mean by forced? People are not being forced per se, but they're being encouraged to play it not because it's fun, not because they want to, but because they can make a lot of silver. A lot of silver. You can make tons in a premium tank in Cold War, and hence why people are playing it, just so they can use the silver. Then they take it to the World War II and then use it there. They're also playing it because it's easier for ops. If you have get 20,000 damage, well, it's a lot easier to get 20,000 damage playing 20 games in Cold War than it is playing 20 games in World War II when you're only doing like 100 damage compared to Cold War, which you're doing 500 damage per shot or whatever, So it's going to take them a lot less time doing it on Cold War than doing it in World War II. So that's the only reason. That's a big reason why anybody is playing Cold War over World War II, is for the silver and for the ops. I don't think there's many people playing just for fun, to be honest. Yes, there are. Yes, I'm sure there is a fair amount of people having a lot of fun in this game and they love it and all that. But I think the vast majority of people are only playing Cold War to do ops and get silver, and that is the main reason why they're playing the game. So I still think Cold War is pretty pants. I don't play it other than to do a bit of silver, and obviously now I'm playing it to upgrade this Challenger 2, which I kind of regret buying. I think I could have bought the Italian heavy line using the same amount of gold, or the Object 430U, and I probably would have had a lot more fun in those, and I would have had them fully upgraded when I bought them. So that's a bit annoying. Yeah, this last game is the only good match I've had in this tank, really. And again, this was a really good game, but we lost. And again, you had quick games in World War II, and you have even quicker games in Cold War because everything moves just so much faster. They just look, I'm being stormed here, not much I can do. Our team getting absolutely obliterated, but I've had a good game. Even with my terrible gun, terrible pen, pretty bad engine, I haven't had a bad game really. But it's still annoying. I had 10,000 damage. Again, I presume that's a pretty decent game. I'm not sure because, like I said, no feedback from the medal section still. So yeah, there you go. And hopefully, maybe in a year or two, who knows, this might be worth playing more than just to get silver and ops. We might be and might have 6 or 7 tank lines to go down, or maybe I think like 10 might be a time period where it actually will be fun to play. Anyway, as you can see, the Russian tanks are the best because the majority of tanks I've been up against have been the Russian ones. So they need to work that out a bit and buff the American and British line a bit so that it's a bit more competitive. But there you go. Anyway, bit of a rant there, guys, but I haven't been playing much, so this is all I've got to really talk about, unfortunately. Anyway, hope you like this video, and if if you did, like it and subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you in a less ranty video. Anyway, bye guys.